Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And I hope everybody's having a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are out there in the world. Back in April, it was definitely a hectic month for any HBAR holder out there because there was a lot of emotions. There was a lot of, left, right, all this kind of crazy noise that we've been hearing, and then also price action. Now, again, I'm going to put a spotlight on the fact that I do believe Hedera and HBAR is suppressed. And in fact, we actually have proof that it is being suppressed. And it almost seems as though it is either one, there's a lot of either, pay to play happening, or there's just a lack of research going into some of these posts. Now, we've already talked about Cointelegraph and the CoinDesk articles that came out about Hedera and BlackRock and Orchix. We already really kind of talked about it heavily back in April. I really wanted to, talk about the facts behind it and address it, and I did. I made videos on it. I made a ton of X posts about it as well, because as we really look at this space, this is retail money. When we're talking about HBAR or XRP or any altcoin in the space, there's a ton of retail money behind these projects. So when we see something happen that's very good for not only HBAR, but also the entire ecosystem, and then all of a sudden, a lot of these companies and a lot of these posts now are coming out and saying like, oh no, it's fake, it's this, it's that, whatever. It is something serious. And I do think that anyone out there that does have a little bit of a voice should be putting themselves out there and really kind of putting a spotlight on what's really going on. Now, we did that, but beyond that, the reason why I'm bringing this back up and the reason why I'm talking about it is because you have projects like Ethereum, where BlackRock is utilizing Securitize and they're tapping into Ethereum through Securitize. It's the same exact process that happened here with Hedera and Orchix and BlackRock. But that news went by fine. They were, supporting Ethereum. And then all of a sudden, Hedera has good news happen. And all of a sudden, everything gets blown out of proportion and it gets twisted in a negative way. And we question, why is that? What's going on? Well, let's look into a few things. So as we look at transactions on Hedera, we just talked about how we hit 50 billion. And I think that was in the beginning of the month. And now we're almost already at 51 billion transactions, which is kind of crazy to think about. If you go over to Metrica, everything is very transparent. Year to date, roughly almost 14 billion transactions. In the last week, almost 1 billion transactions. And this has been stable for the most part at about roughly 1.6 thousand transactions per second. Max TPS has been around roughly sub 6.4K. But regardless, a ton of growth here. Now, like I said, going back to that initial post, it seems as though there is a lot of, suppression happening around Hedera. And the proof of this is these posts by, for an example, OKX and even Coin98 Analytics. And this is apparently data that they're providing where you see the top blockchains by total transactions in Q1 of 2024. And over here we have daily transactions on popular blockchain platforms. Yet, do you see Hedera at all on either of these posts? No, you don't. But Solana is one. 2.4 billion transactions in Q1. Wow, that's crazy. For reference, in the last 3 months, which is a quarter, Hedera did 10.34 billion transactions. Even over here, 40 million transactions in one day. Wow, that's crazy, right? Again, going back over here, let's go to the last one day. 100 and almost 40 million transactions. Why isn't Hedera labeled at all on both of these charts? I wonder why. I question why. Now, this one from OKX actually got community noted, and we have this list omits 2 chains with significant transaction volume. Hedera had 8.25 billion transactions in Q1, which would place it in first on this list. Algorand had 406 million total transactions in Q1, which would put it in fourth on this list after the inclusion of Hedera above. This is what I'm talking about. They don't actually include legitimate information and data behind this space. And a lot of people even said down here, right? well, first off, in case you missed it, this is not an exhaustive list. Only a few shout outs. Again, it's comical that like they're not even deleting these posts. They're not even reiterating the post or anything like that. Like, it's crazy to me that no one is noticing something happening here around Hedera, which is it's clearly a pick and choose game right now. And it whether or not it's paid for or what, I don't know what's going on here. But it seems as though Hedera is getting completely suppressed and hidden away on a lot of these charts that are trying to say, hey, look at these are the transactions from the top blockchains. Like, no, it's not. It's not. And it's not factual at all. Even over here from Coin98, this is May 6th, roughly 6 days ago. Sui outshines Solana, now the leading layer 1 blockchain with a staggering 40 million plus daily transactions. Again, no mention of Hedera. And we have down here from a few H-Barbarians, like, why did you leave Hedera out? Scared of better tech. Hedera is averaging 90 million plus daily transactions over entire quarters. Again, a lot of people are like trying to say, hey, look at Hedera. Like, why aren't you focused on Hedera? Why is Hedera not getting, any mentions? Like, what is going on? So when we really look at what's happening here, it seems as though Hedera is purposely getting hidden from a lot of these charts. Either it's getting suppressed or maybe they just don't care to mention it. Are they scared of the tech? We don't know. But when we go back to the media companies twisting Hedera in terms of like the information out there, and they even spotlight, an ADA maxi, right? Information from an ADA maxi. This is when I get concerned on what's going on right now. What's up with the media around this space? And it seems as though it is catering to specific winners and losers. When I have a company that's competing with another company, which I don't like to say like, oh, we're competing with ADA if you're holding HBAR, but they are two different chains. They are focused on the same use cases. They're trying to compete with each other technically. But if I'm running a company and I have a competitor that is posting something and I say, oh, no, they're lying, and a media company takes that post and says, hey, look, this company is lying. It's better for my company. How is that something that happens in crypto or anywhere? It doesn't, because this is a problem, and it's something that everyone should see as well. You can't have an individual that is a maxi of one chain that is trying to twist information about a certain chain like Hedera. You can't take that and run with it and run an article like this. You can't. But then you look at media outside of just like, these actual news platforms. You look at the data, right? Like, these are data media companies, and this is an actual exchange that are posting fake and inaccurate data. Why isn't Hedera at all on any of these reports? I question it. Now, beyond that, over here from HBAR Tata, we have in 2023, Visa processed 212 billion transactions. To compare, Bitcoin at 7 transactions per second would need nearly 1,000 years to handle this volume. In contrast, Hedera, even when throttled, can process over 300 billion transactions annually. The future of scalable DLT is here. What's crazier about all of this is the fact that Hedera is actually greener than Visa as well. Is Bitcoin greener than Visa? No. Like, when we look at Hedera, it's ready, right? It's been ready to take over since day one. And it has been taking over. But nobody is spotlighting it. And I question why. Now, a media company that I do follow is Generation Infinity. And I have to say a big shout out to Generation Infinity. I'm also trying to build a media company, which is the Web3 Alert. It's hard. It's very challenging. But I will say Generation Infinity is right there with us. They're still in the middle of growing. They're becoming big. I think that they're almost at 30,000 followers, which is huge. And so far, they have not been, picking winners or losers. They spotlight legitimate facts and information. And we have here the Hedera network and Hbar ecosystem have grown at an astounding rate in 2024. Over the past few months, the ecosystem has achieved critical adoption milestones as blockchain continues seeing institutional utilization of the technology begin to take tangible form. Let's dive into Hedera achievements this year. Through institutional adoption, tokenization, ESG initiatives, and additions to the governing council, the Hedera ecosystem has witnessed major milestones in growth. You won't see this anywhere else. Media companies won't report on this. Today, we divide these areas of growth into 4 example segments and explore key highlights within each: new council additions, consortium contributions, DeFi and Web3 integration, and institutional adoption. In this thread, we will be focusing on points 1 and 2. Advancements within the governing council. The governing council is one of the cornerstones to what truly makes Hedera unique. Governed by the world's leading organizations, up to 39 collusion-resistant organizations join forces to govern the network, each committed to network innovation, stability, and continued decentralization. The governance council inherently builds trust via stake of reputation. Each council member represents a large institution, enterprise, or entity. Multiple global economic verticals are represented, bringing an unprecedented level of trust to the network and bolstering adoption for the real-world utility in multiple industries. In 2024 alone, the Hedera network added Hitachi America, Mondelez, and also BitGo. Hitachi is a multinational conglomerate focused on products and services around systems in finance, energy, railway, digital systems, and more. Mondelez owns consumer brands such as Oreo, Ritz Crackers, Cadbury, Halls, Kraft Brand, Jell-O, and many others. BitGo is a leading institutional digital asset custody service that has been operating since 2013. BitGo has major relationships with banks, exchanges, trading firms, financial services providers, and much more. The network has not seen council additions introduced at this pace since the initial formation in 2019. The Hedera network has been added to major consortiums including Blockchain for Energy, OpenSSF by Linux, and the Digital Euro Association. The Blockchain for Energy consortium recently launched B4E Carbon alongside Innovate AI, aiming to provide the industry's inaugural comprehensive emissions management solution that leverages in tandem, blockchain, AI, and Internet of Things. The B4E Carbon's proprietary digital measurement, reporting, and verification tool is directly built on Hedera and is arguably at the heart of the technology stack, serving as core infrastructure to what allows B4E Carbon to operate and track emissions data through the immutability of DLT. B4E also consists of leaders in the energy space such as Aramco, ExxonMobil, Chevron, and more. Additional Hedera network ESG utilization not directly included in this thought piece includes the Managed Guardian Service under the auspices of the United Nations. And then down here we have the Open Source Security Foundation is yet another Linux working group that Hedera has joined. This is a big one. Some others include Open Source Finance, Industry Purpose DLT, and Wallet Solutions, which is Finos Foundation, Hyperledger, and Open Wallet Foundation. OpenSSF creates solutions for sustainable, secure development, maintenance, and use of open source software. Additional members involved in this organization include Apple, Microsoft, Coinbase, IBM, Intel, Google, Huawei, Cisco, Citi, and more. The Hedera network is currently the only public DLT added into the ecosystem. Hedera and the Digital Euro Association, it is a group made to work to develop the digital euro via research and experiment. The core team is built from members with experience in central banking, research, academia, and finance within Europe. Additional blockchain members of the Digital Euro Association include Ripple with XRP and Aleph Zero with A0. Additional participants within the consortium include central banks, consultancy firms such as EY, stablecoin issuers like Circle, and academia such as Frankfurt School Blockchain Center. The Hedera network has seen trials of CBDC integration within the technology stack via commercial stablecoins and MTech Inc.'s CBDC platform, which leverages Hedera Consensus Service. Stablecoin Studio has brought a newfound method for issuing stablecoins at unprecedented go-to-market speed. This solution has since been tested by the likes of Shinhan and CM Commercial Bank in 2023 for cross-border settlement and stablecoin assets in banking environments. CM Commercial Bank, largest South Korean bank, and Shinhan Bank, the South Africa's largest lender, both utilized Hashgraph app, one of the Hedera network's most utilized wallets during testing. These pillars of adoption are only a few of the milestones the network has achieved in 2024. And in this breakdown, we have only shared a small portion of our deep dive into Hedera's adoptive progress. Stay tuned as we soon break down recent progress in regards to Web3 and DeFi integrations and institutional adoption. And yeah, you know what's crazy about this is like you won't see a report like this. You won't see anything like this reported on. And it's crazy to me. there is so much happening here behind Hedera. There's so much going on behind HBAR, yet it seems as though information is being suppressed. The only individuals that are really kind of pushing this, and the only, organizations out there pushing this is like Generation Infinity. You have Hedera themselves. You have Hedera content creators like myself pushing information behind HBAR. And it's just crazy to me that we don't have the full support from these media companies that are extremely large giants that have been around for a very long time. It seems as though all of the information that comes out around Hedera that is very positive news gets twisted and it gets turned against them. And I just feel as though that is either one, a very good sign that Hedera is going to absolutely dominate this space, which it already is technically from the data, or two, someone is paying to play and they hate to see Hedera succeed. Now, I've noticed a lot of hate thrown towards Hedera in the past, especially from the ADA community. I've also seen a lot of hate thrown to Hedera's side just from the vast majority of individuals around this space. And it's just crazy to me that this is like one of the most hated projects out there. But then again, can you really blame them when you are looking at a network like Hedera and all of these major updates that they keep pushing at 50 billion plus transactions with all of these major moves being made by them? Can you really blame any of these other players that are hating on Hedera when they are looking at it as a major threat? So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on for more free content. You guys are more than follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.